Welcome to Tobar's Realm. Today I'm going to start my second homemade knife build out of this old chop saw blade. I already made one kitchen knife blade out of this. I really enjoyed making that. So I think I'm going to make another one. And I'll sort of picture what shape I'm going for here, but next I'm going to draw the pattern on paper and transfer it to this to cut it out to get it started. Alright, well, I got the pattern out of the blade I want to make. It might be a touch too long, but I'll cut it out, put it on the chunk of saw blade and make sure it fits. If it is a little too long, I'll just make it a little shorter. Alright, well, I got it transferred. It's barely fits. And I think I'm going to incorporate the hole in there as like a rest for your thumb on the top. I'll probably widen it out a little bit. So, time to cut it out. Well, I got it rough cut out. I'm going to have to take off some here and there and clean up the edges and stuff. I think I'll just take this off with the regular bench grinder instead of trying to do it with the cutting wheel. It'll probably take the same amount of time, and I went slow enough. I didn't get any bluing, so that's good. So time to do that. Alright, so I'm just going to use the bench grinder, take off that extra stuff, then just dip it in some water here to cool it down as I'm going. Well, I changed my mind. I ground down pretty much the blade section and the back of the handle, and that took longer than I thought. So I think I am going to use the angle grinder and just make some small cuts in here and get out as much of that as I can. Just go slowly, try not to blue it. I'll probably do a little bit in lots of places and then go back. Like, nope, just do one big cut. It'll get too hot. And then cut the top off here. That'll be like a thumb rest once the handle's on it. So I got it basically what my pattern wanted to be, and got it ground. So now I am going to just use a marker to mark where I'm going to bevel that blade down and mark where I'm going to end up putting the handle, probably about here to there, because I want to have some wood from the handle to be able to put my finger and thumb on. Alright, I got those marked. Now I'm gonna take it over to the workbench and start using a flapper wheel, 80 grit flapper wheel, to start sharpening that blade. Well, I used the flapper grinder disc and took down the edge pretty good. It's not super sharp yet, but it is getting closer. I think I can get the rest of the sharpening with the sharpening stone. But now I am going to sand off all those scratch marks. And on my first attempt, I tried 220 grit sandpaper, and that worked good enough for me. So I'm gonna start doing that. I could probably use like an electric sander but I kind of like doing it by hand just because I'm not in a hurry, and I don't know, I just like doing it that way. Let's get started on that. Got this side basically done. Got all the major scratches out of it. Didn't worry about the tang of it because it'll be in the handle, so it doesn't matter. And then how do I need to do the other side? Alright, I got the sanding done, so now I'm just going to outline the handle on this piece of cardboard, cut it out, and figure out where I want to put the holes through. I think I'll do 3. Template's done. Got the handles marked out on there, and I got the holes drilled through the knife blade. Here's some lengths of that 1/4 inch metal tubing that I'm going to use for the rivets through there. And then inside of those, I'm going to put some lengths of electrical wire. There's 7 14 gauge, and then in the center is a piece of 12 gauge. So, but I did forget to sand the back of it, so I'm gonna just get these lined out, take the tape off, sand that, because I want to do it before I glue and all that, and then get ready to glue it together. Got it rough cut out. Now I'm gonna sand down some of the parts that would be hard to do if I waited till after I glued it, so I'm gonna do that. I got it all glued together. Got the wire in there. This was the first one I did, and I mixed up enough epoxy to do a couple of them, which turned out to be a mistake because I was doing the middle one and it started setting before I could get all 7 of the outer pieces of wire in there. So this one only has 6, which was really irritating. This one's good, I believe. This one's missing one. And then I was prepared when I did the 3rd one. Got kind of messy. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to be sanding all that off. But next step, start cleaning it up. I got those rivets cleaned up. One looks pretty nice, kind of like a flower. Let's see that larger wire in the center with the 7 around it. There's the one where I couldn't get that 7th wire in there on the outside. Still looks alright, I guess. That one's good. The other side, that tubing is slightly bent on this one, but not too bad, I guess. Now to start sanding down the handle. I got it sanded down to the metal part, all the glue and wood. So I'm gonna start getting it the right shape, finalize the shape, round it off, get it going. Alright, well, I got the handle all trimmed up there, feeling comfortable. See, the flowers turned out pretty good. The center one, man, it's so frustrating that epoxy set before I could get it in there, but I think if I tried to fix it, I'd ruin it more than just leaving it alone. But the ones that turned out correct, I think look pretty nice, and it's not super horrible by itself, but anyways, I am going to stain this handle black. I think that'll look nice with the copper. This oak is so hard that the stain doesn't really soak in very good, so we'll see how it turns out. I'll probably do multiple coats, so just gonna use some black stain and then rub some wood putty on it after that. Wish me luck. Alright, well, got it finished up. Got the handle stained, and I used wood paste on it, and those rivets turned out pretty nice except for that middle one. But I did learn a valuable lesson regarding epoxy. Make sure you got time to get your stuff in place before it gets hardened. But the other two I think look really nice. Handle turned out nice, I think. Sharpened up, ready to use. It was an enjoyable build, and if anybody wants to try it, I'd recommend it. It wasn't that difficult. It was fun. So, thanks for watching. Till next time.